Welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by today. All right, if you've never tuned into the show, here's what we do. We have fun first. Mandatory fun. We got to have fun. For 2 hours, we're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. Now, today's topics are a little, I don't even like to say controversial because they're not. It's just about doing what's right, whether we have the same skin color or not. But before we get to that, what do we do here? What do I do? I'm known as America's behavior coach. We handle life and business. But can you have business without life? So basically, we handle your behavior. If you want to change, you got to change. And there's some change in changing. So, in a nutshell, what do? We help you change your behavior to have the life that you've always wanted. And it revolves around purpose, plan, direction. Now, what goes into that is all of life. And the topics that we cover here are going to have something to do with your life or something that touches your life, whether you realize it or not. Now, if you want to go by my website, it's scotferrell.com. If you got a question for us here at the show, it's questions@scotferrell.com or hit us up on the text line. We're always ready for a text, 706-889-9700, or head on by Facebook and like our page. The page would be Scot Ferrell, that's 1T. I want to start off today because with a sensitive topic that's been covered lately in the paper, news media, print, video, YouTube, carrier pigeon, any way we can get information out. It's about race. Well, my guest today is Frank McCain Jr., not Sr. Frank McCain Sr. passed on a couple of years ago, but you may not know the name, but you'll know the situation, the Greensboro Four. Yes, the guys that helped start the civil rights campaign and civil rights movement. But why in the world would a guy with long hair and a cowboy hat be doing a show about black guys starting the civil rights movement? Well, I was watching a documentary a few days ago about Saddam Hussein and some of the other evil dictators in the world. And then I was thinking about Colin Kaepernick and all these athletes starting to protest our national anthem. And I was thinking, what are they risking? Seriously, I mean, think about this. What is Colin Kaepernick risking? Evil tweets, somebody saying something bad about him on Facebook. Nothing. The dude lives in San Francisco, the bastion of say whatever you want to. But does he really understand what he's protesting? Our national anthem, the only true free country in the world. And I say true free country. If you don't understand that, just go back and take a history class. But was it always this way for all people? Well, of course not. Ask the Native American. But ask black people in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I'm not going to go all the way back. We know that. But the date would be February 1, 1960. Now, Colin Kaepernick has no idea what that means. He's gotten on the bandwagon late because he got a little girlfriend who said Black Lives Matter. That's a front group from George Soros that's had about $650 million pumped into him. That, to me, ain't standing up. But what's it take to stand up for what's right? Well, ask the Greensboro Four. Let me give you some names. Blair, Richmond, McCain, and McNeil. See, those are four gentlemen. And let me give you another. Ralph Johns was the white businessman that helped them that day. That's courage. If you don't realize how bad it was for blacks in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and then the 60s. Imagine not being able to ride on the bus. Although I was kidding my black friends later. I used to ride the bus all the time. The best seats are in the back. The best seats are in the back of the bus. Hey, force me to sit there. But it wouldn't have mattered where the best seat was. It's a matter of you can't sit there. I remember colored and white bathrooms and washing counters and water fountains. But it's 1960, it's February 1, and you're getting ready to risk your life. Not get a bad Twitter feed, not get something bad on Facebook, but your life. For your right, not just your right, not the four of you, but for everyone. See, Kaepernick's looking at the glory. These guys were looking at what was right. That's why I say, what's it take to stand up for what's right? You better understand what's coming. And I read out a whole list of what these men faced. But the Blair, Richmond, McCain, and McNeil had spoken to a guy named Ralph Johns, and they had planned to sit at the Woolworth counter in downtown Greensboro, North Carolina, as a protest for what was going on. Blacks could not be served at that counter at that time in our history. Now, they can work in the back. Okay, we'll let you work if you can't eat here. Okay, that's not right. And you're talking to a guy, yeah, I may look like this, but I've never seen race. So these 4 guys, in conjunction with Ralph Johns, decided enough. Drawing the line, this can't happen anymore. So they sit down. The police come. Because they choose a nonviolent method, the police can't arrest them. What are you going to arrest them for? Sitting down? So they stayed till close. The next day, 300 students, and it's close to North Carolina A&T, come over with them. Now, I'm a businessman, so here's what I'm thinking. All right, so 4 guys sit down. They got money in their pocket. Now, I'm bringing satire to this because it's such an intense subject. And I'm thinking, all right, how many kids go to North Carolina A&T? A couple thousand. They all got money too, right? And if y'all come and eat lunch here every single day, how much money can I make? Hey, white people, get out. I'm kidding here, but I would be more about the dollar. All right, you mean to tell me that black people can't eat anywhere else? Hey, y'all can eat here 3 meals a day. I don't care. Anytime you got money, come. But on the non-amusing side of this, you've got 4 men who were black in the South in the 60s. And if we don't remember what happens, we've got water hoses, beatings, you name it, people spitting on you. I didn't even have enough room to write down what was going on with black people then. So they take the heat, the local media shows up, Ralph had called them, and they're somewhat insulated. But you're insulated only while you're in the Woolworth store. What happens when you walk out? Hey man, again, it wasn't cool to be black in downtown Greensboro in a restaurant in 1960. Basically giving the middle finger to that community. Not necessarily the white community, but to the establishment. Because I knew a lot of whites that didn't believe in that either. I don't know one person that believed in blacks not eating with us. Not one. But there were many. And I really feel sorry. I went to college in Greensboro. I went to Greensboro College, not far from A&T. And yeah, me being that guy, I dated the girls from A&T. But I remember what it was like. Let me go ahead and put up a photo of the Greensboro 4 as they're sitting at the lunch counter. Now just imagine this. You got 4 college kids, got it up enough courage to go. But I tell you what do you do when the police show up? Okay, they got billy clubs, they got guns, they probably had dogs, who knows? And they tell you to get up. But there's not a statute that requires you to get up because if you're nonviolent, what are they going to do? They can't hear you. Okay? But as you fast forward through history, these guys had enough nerve to stand up. Well, what did they have to stand up for? They had their clear focus on what they were doing. No more. This can't stand any longer because this is wrong. White can do this, black can't do this. 100% wrong. Last time I looked, the Constitution protects us all. If that is true, and now we're 50 years forward, but the memorial, and the funny thing is, I used to teach one of the nephews of one of these gentlemen. And I would take my class down there, me and my friend Dr. Shaw, and we'd sit there every Friday. And we'd sit on those stools before it was a memorial. And we would let that guy's nephew sit on his uncle's stool. And that's what we called it. You can sit on your uncle's stool. And we retold the story of the bravery it took to do this. And now it's a National Museum. If you're ever in Greensboro, North Carolina, you can go to downtown and you can actually see where these guys sat. But can you imagine the courage, the focus, and the understanding of the consequences you were getting ready to bring down, not only on you, but every single person associated with you? So if you're going to stand up for something that's right, and that was 100% in the right, that's what you got to do. Now let me fast forward. I'm going to throw up a photo of the statues for these guys. Because what happens when you do what's right? You help start a national movement. You help change race relations in this country, all because you had enough backbone and courage and definitiveness of purpose and focus to carry out a mission that needed to be done. You get a statue of yourself and your 3 other buddies. See, this is what I want to convey here, because we're 55 years later, 54, 55. What Colin Kaepernick says he's facing at $11 million a year, can go anywhere he wants to, and he might get a bad Twitter feed, is nowhere close to what these men sacrificed. Because let's turn the tables. Let's say they get arrested, they get beaten, they get imprisoned. They didn't know the outcome. This is one time only God knew the outcome. Now, I'm very thankful for these 4 guys, and I'm very thankful for McCain. Why? Because his son graduated high school with me, and Frank Jr. is actually going to be on the show today. I wanted Frank to come on and talk about legacy. Okay, these guys from North Carolina A&T, if you don't know, it's a historical black college in Greensboro, North Carolina. But the legacy is senior, junior, and now we have another McCain in a dorm hallway that's named after Frank Sr. How cool would that be for every single person, male, to go to a school that's named after you in the hallway? That's just beyond crazy, because your dad took the time to put his life on the line and do what was right. So when you do what's right, you get rewarded. I just think it's crazy that these 4 guys got up. Probably, it looks like they pre-planned it, but it wasn't long, because you had to keep this tight-lipped or you're going to get hurt. And then they went on to do some crazy, amazing things, not only for the black community, but for the United States. All because they had the backbone and the courage, they had a clear focus, they knew what their purpose was, and they understood clearly what the consequences would be. How many times have you gotten up today or yesterday or last week or whenever and said, I'm going to do what's right, I'm going to do what's necessary, and I'm going to do it regardless of the cost? Not many do. That's the reason we have 1% 99. It really has nothing to do with money. It has a lot to do with the decision. You make a decision to do what's right regardless of the cost. You make a decision to do what's right when necessary. And then you choose to accept the responsibility that comes with it. See, right and wrong doesn't have an expiration date. So when I get back, I want to leave this because I don't want to destroy Frank's thunder. All right, so Frank Jr. is going to be with me in the next hour. Go ahead and look up the Greensboro Ferrell. If you've never read the story, this you need to read, because this is civil rights, and this is all about doing what is necessary and right. When I get back, I'm going to talk about famous people and why people are hanger-ons. I'll be right back.
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get any 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Get any toppings, any crust flavor, anything you want for just $6.99 each. And sweeten the deal with a Hershey's Triple Chocolate Brownie for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey and Ellijay.
Better days ahead. The
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited, now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT, now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, America. The first ever $5 flavor menu is here, and it's a game changer. For just $5 each, you can get a medium one-topping pizza, Wing Street Wings, a Hershey's cookie, and your other Hut favorites. A Pizza Hut pizza for just $5? It's the ultimate crowd pleaser.
How are you feeling, crowd?
Very pleased, thank you.
We do what we can here.
$5 for a Pizza Hut pizza. How can we not be pleased?
Good crowd today.
The $5 flavor menu, America's best pizza deal, only at Pizza Hut.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you got a question for us, questions at scottferrell.com or hit us up on the text line 706-889-9700. Now keep in mind, I got Frank McCain dropping by today, son of Frank McCain Sr. From the Greensboro 4. If you haven't had an opportunity to look up what they gave to our country, look it up. It's a great story. Just go to Wikipedia and type in Greensboro 4. Great guys, something that needed to be done. That's true bravery, because they didn't know the outcome. Now I want to switch gears till I get back to Frank when he comes on. I want to talk about, why do people latch on to famous people? You see them, you got the hanger-ons. People just want to be a part of the glory, as Nacho Libre would say. I just want a little taste of the glory. Why? Have you ever done that? Have you ever just latched on to somebody because they were famous? Or you see somebody famous and go, picture, here, selfie, selfie. What's that really mean? Why do we do it? Why do people do it? Why do we spend our time? Well, I know why I spend my time in the grocery store looking at the magazines, because the cashier's normally so slow, I could read 3 or 4 magazines before I get checked out. But you got people, you got all the magazines right there. So it's a who's who of screwed up lives, basically, because they're not going to print anything that's not screwed up. They're not going to go, hey, Brad Pitt's got a great marriage and he loves his wife, and they have boring life and they just sit at home at night and watch family movies. That don't sell magazines. Divorce coming, 140 million at stake. Now everybody's reading. But why do people latch onto a famous person as tight as they can? And they may not even know them. Well, one's insecurity. You don't know who you are. You have no clue who you are. You don't realize that you're created by God for a purpose, plan, and direction. You don't realize that you've got something special inside you. I love what John D. Martini says when he goes out and speaks. He'll say, why are you latched on to this person? Don't you realize that you have some of the very same qualities this human being does? And that you could achieve your own status or your own fame if, one, you'd realize what's inside of you, but two, if you would realize what you have to contribute. But the caveat is here, it takes effort, it takes perseverance, and it takes a clear vision of where you're going. Now, if you don't have those, I don't care how many characteristics you have in common with other people. It ain't gonna matter. So people latch on to someone who's famous, because I have to say famous, because fame used to be, you were a Hollywood celebrity, a writer, a fashion model, an athlete. Big news, you had earned the right to. I'm watching a show on the Food Network the other night, and it's people that can't cook. And they use the term fame loosely because it's a lot of reality TV stars. Okay, reality TV stars didn't earn their fame. They just happen to luck up, get in a casting call, have a screwed up life to get on TV. Okay, to me, that's not famous. Now, there one is truly famous person on the show. It's Barbara Eden. Wow, did I love I Dream of Jeannie. And I always loved her. It's people that can't cook. But what have they done? Let's look at celebrity status. What have they done to earn their fame? Nothing. So I'm really talking about famous people. Okay, Brad Pitt earned the fame. George Clooney earned the fame. Andre Agassi earned the fame. Roger Federer earned the fame. Kobe Bryant earned the fame because they went out and did something. Now, why else do people latch on? Well, they don't understand who they are, correct? But they're trying to take this person's life and absorb what they're doing to highlight their life. So you're vicariously living through someone else. You don't have to purchase the car, the house, the vacation, the private jet. You can just watch them do it. And most of the time, these people aren't getting out of their own life what they want. So you got a 9 to 5 maybe, or you got a really boring life for the most part. You've got friends, but it's nothing exciting. So you almost build this artificial lifestyle around celebrity magazines, websites, TMZ, you name it. As I did when I was a kid. I developed an imaginary life around Batman, Green Lantern, Flash. I wanted to be a superhero. Within my life, I didn't have that. There was no way I was going to achieve that. But if I could escape just for a little while, it made my life that much better. Because my whole life wasn't great, so I had to escape. Well, these people's lives aren't that great. And they think this is the only way that they're going to be able to touch the glory. Well, I've got a lot of famous friends. I get to hang out with a lot of famous people. Why? Because I worked my tail off for the last 25 years to put myself in a position where I am now. So I got to meet a lot of cool people on the way. And here's the difference. There's no difference between us and famous people. They have the same needs we do. They just decided to go out and earn something. Let's look at Brad Pitt again. He's the most well-known guy I could probably talk about. The guy's a good actor. He does good movies. He does good work. He should be paid for what he does. Roger Federer. Saw an interview with him the other night at the U.S. Open. He should be paid for what he's done. He wins. Venus and Serena. Serena just became the all-time winningest tennis player. She should make more money in endorsements. She's actually done something. When I was a young tennis player and I played in high school, mine was Bjorn Borg. I wanted to be Bjorn Borg. I didn't want to be back in row. Anybody can have a bad attitude. Borg just shut his mouth and went out and won. Okay, I like Johnny Mac. I love to hear him do matches. But I lived through those guys. The only problem is when you're in your 50s, it ain't so cool to live through people. Because if I'm only receiving my validation as a human from living through a gossip magazine, being able to touch a famous person, standing in line for 5 hours to get a photo made, standing in line 5 hours to have somebody sign my chest, I got friends that have to sign those, then my life's not going to where I want it to. So let me ask you this. Are you one of those people that has an empty life that's trying to live through someone else who has achieved some degree of fame? Now, if you see a photo of me and somebody famous on my website, it's because I've had a relationship with them. Not because I just walked up and took a photo. To be honest, I don't even know what photos I've got up on my website right now. I don't handle that. They tell me to stay out of that. But if you see a photo on my website with me and someone who's achieved some degree of fame, they're either a friend of mine or someone I have a relationship with from a business standpoint, or I tutored under them. I just don't arbitrarily throw photos up there. But if you don't know who you are, and you are trapped in this cycle, and you've got to get a little taste of the glory, let me ask you a question. Isn't it time to go ahead and live your own life and make your own life great, and make your life that dream life, and go out and receive your purpose from God and use your skill set to go out and do something incredible? Now, if you're one of these people, just look at the top 5 people you think are great. What are the characteristics that they have and you have that are similar? Now, what is it you can do that they can't do? Okay, let's look at a famous football player. Let's look at Cam Newton for right now. Cam seems to be one of the top quarterbacks right now. What is it I can do that Cam Newton can't do? I can fit in the really short spaces, and I can sit on an airplane a whole lot more safely and more comfortably than he can. He's 6'5". Okay, that's one thing. I know it's weird, but I'm having to pick out things I can do. I can do TV, maybe he can't. I can grow long hair. He's not grown long hair. See where I'm going with this? I know it's silly, but you have to be able to find a distinguishing thing about you versus them. Something to consider. Hey man, if you like to read the Goblins magazines and it makes you feel better, knock it out. I still read comic books. When I get back, I'm going to get your mailbag. I've kind of neglected it the last few days. But don't forget, coming up in the next hour, Frank McCain's going to stop by, going to talk about what it was like to have a father who did what was right regardless of the cost. I'll be right back.
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get any 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Get any toppings, any crust flavor, anything you want for just $6.99 each. And sweeten the deal with a Hershey's Triple Chocolate Brownie for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
El Rey and Elijah.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Elijah.
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited. Now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT. Now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Elijah. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, America. The first ever $5 flavor menu is here, and it's a game changer. For just $5 each, you can get a medium one-topping pizza, Wing Street Wings, a Hershey's cookie, and your other Hut favorites. A Pizza Hut pizza for just $5. It's the ultimate crowd pleaser.
How are you feeling, crowd?
Very pleased, thank you.
We do what we can here.
$5 for a Pizza Hut pizza. How can we not be pleased?
Good crowd today.
The $5 flavor menu, America's best pizza deal, only at Pizza Hut.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you got your coffee, tea. You're at least probably out of traffic by now, hopefully. Don't know where you are geography-wise, But if you're not out of traffic, just bear with it. Give me some Zen state here, man, and we'll get you relaxed. All right, I've been neglecting the mailbag the last couple days, so I'm gonna pull out some questions today. Keep in mind, you can ask me a question. I'll be glad to answer on air. One rule: does it have something to do with more than one person? If it does, I'll be glad to answer it. Questions@scottferrell.com is how you hook me up with your question, or hit us up on the text line 706-889-9700. Let me go ahead and jump in. All right, we got Bill. Bill's got a question today. Bill is from Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right, Bill's question is, how long does it take to fall in love? I've been dating 2 weeks, and I feel like I am head over heels in love with this young lady. Just wanted to get your thoughts. Hey, fair question, man. How long does it take to fall in love? Not long. If you ask a teenage boy, it's instantaneously. Well, if you ask an older man, it can be instantaneously. My Aunt Frances just got married this past year. Actually, yeah, this past year. She's 83. Her husband was 86. He said when he met her, he felt like a lightning bolt had struck him. I believed him. Super guy. Do we feel an emotion when we meet someone who's spectacular? Absolutely. But what we call love is really a smell that's generated by our biochemistry. How long does it take to really love someone? Again, you could type this in the internet right now. You'd probably get 100 million searches, all of them with a different opinion. Now you could go ask 12 psychologists, same thing. 12 psychiatrists, 12 medical doctors, 12 moms, 12 dads, 12 grandparents, and you're going to get different answers because it is different for every single person. But what we feel when we initially meet someone is based on smell or our biochemistry or our pheromones. What we do after that's a little different. You've been dating 2 weeks. Man, the euphoria of finding someone who matches you is untested. There's a reason why they say love is a drug. It's more addictive than heroin or cocaine. Why? Because it feels so great. Man, you go on that first date, and chances are in 2 weeks, you may have had 2 or 3 or maybe 4 or 5 dates by now, but you're texting, you're emailing, and the feeling's unreal. What it feels like to start to fall in love or into heavy like and infatuation. Now, what's love really take? Well, this is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. What is love? Is it an emotion or is it an action? Is it a giving or receiving? When I sit down with couples, because a lot of couples come to me for coaching, because we're talking about life, we're talking about profession, we're talking about their personal lives, them as a couple, what they want to do professionally. So that's a little different, but it always comes back to how did you fall in love, what's going on, why do you love each other, what are the characteristics, how do you two mesh together? And I'm dumbfounded sometimes when it's just based on that feeling instead of, I've been with my wife 10 years now, and it's been this for the first 5. Now the last, everything's got its season and everything's got its difficulty. But whether it's this or this or this, what are we talking about when it comes to love? All right, you've been together 2 weeks. Call me in 6 months. Because the euphoria does go away. I looked this up on the internet. You'll see where the hormones die, the first set. And then the stay together hormones start. And as you go on, there's a reason why we have to have a hormonal reaction. Why in the world would anybody put up with another person for 30, 40, 50, 60 years without a hormonal reason to stay? That's love. Okay, so you go to that 4th date, 5th date. Now you're 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months into this, and you still love each other. So what you've done is you slid hormones and infatuation out of the way, and you've actually replaced it with what we humans call love. And now that intense emotion that first came has a different feel. Now, if you're not emotionally mature, and you're not ready to grow up and stop being Peter Pan, all you want is that initial reaction. And once that reaction wears off, you're going to want to move on. That's why we have serial daters or serial cheaters, or because Peter Pan never grew up. And Peter Pan always wants to feel that feeling instead of being in a mature, loving relationship where you give to receive. So if you're in a relationship and you're not giving to receive, yes, I had previously dated a lot of selfish women to where they would just want me to give and they didn't want to give. And then I dated other women who were absolutely some of the most wonderful women I've ever known and gave me everything. And I say an eternal thanks to them. But understand something. Could you feel like you've fallen in love at first sight? Of course, man. I remember what it's like. But understand, the true test of love is the work, the commitment, the action, not the feeling, the action that goes into loving another human. Thank you so much for that question. Let me get the next one. All right, I talk a lot about family meetings, and I've got a parenting product and a marriage product where I talk about having a family meeting around a table. It's no different than a work meeting. Well, the question is, you talk about family meetings all the time. How do I conduct a family meeting? They've got 5 people in their family, and they want to know how to do it. All right, cool. How many meetings have we been to at the office? Bunch. They're normally once a week, depending on whatever is taking place. So once a week, depending on what's taking place. So with a family meeting, let's say you got 3 kids and you've got a husband. Well, designated time, just like at work, it's not a, wow, I didn't know we had a company meeting today. I didn't realize we had a sales meeting. Why didn't somebody tell me? That ain't how the corporate world works, so why does your family work any differently? You go ahead and get out a calendar, get out a piece of paper, everybody on their iPhones, whatever it is, and write down on October 10th, family meeting, 7 p.m. Do it right after dinner. Sit down. Why you have a family meeting? To make sure everybody's on the same page. Families don't talk as much anymore. Families don't do dinner as much at a table any longer. We've overcomplicated our lives and we've got to go back to being the simple, right? So when you do a family meeting, what's the agenda? Don't go into a family meeting and just say, hey, what do you think? What do you think? Stop. Does your boss go into a company meeting with no agenda? Of course not, especially in a sales meeting. Get our numbers up, get out. There's always a reason to have the meeting. Why do you have family meetings? To clarify positions, find out what your kids are up to, talk about dreams, talk about direction, talk about correction. You are a protector of your kids for God because He put them on this earth with a purpose, plan, direction. Why do you have family meetings? To get everybody back on the same page. But what's the most important part of the family meeting? Mom and dad understanding who they are. If you're a single parent, understanding who you are. It doesn't do any good to do a family meeting if you don't know who you are. They've got to have direction. These kids are depending upon direction. And so is your spouse. Men have let this one thing go. We haven't stepped up and been the responsible one. Women have covered all tracks for us in the last whatever years. Actually, throughout the Bible, read the Old Testament. Women were still picking up after us. Family meetings can solve a lot of problems. Drugs, alcohol, not wondering why they're at school, not having a purpose, not understanding you as a couple, you not understanding them as teenagers. It gives everybody a chance to speak like you would in a company meeting. What are your ideas? Talk about vacations, talk about love, talk about what's going on, what they need. You're the director, you're the boss. But think about it. You sit down to a family meeting, you get everybody on the same page, everybody's moving the same direction as a family, kind of like your company. What happens when everybody in the company is going their own way? Doesn't work. What happens in a rock band? Ask Poison. 1986, C.C. DeVille's playing the wrong song, the other 3 guys are playing a different one. Yeah, it was terrible. And then Brad got off stage and punched him in the face. You don't want your family to run that. But we wonder why our families are in chaos and we wonder why our country's falling apart. Because we didn't take the time to have that family meeting to get things done, to get everybody on the same page, to make sure we're meeting their needs and they're meeting ours. What do I mean by that? Giving love, getting love. Asking, receiving on both ends. If you don't understand your teenager or they don't understand you, chances are you haven't met enough. Number one thing teenagers told me they wanted when I did a survey, I drove from my car to Atlanta to LA, it was time. Kids wanted time with their parents. But in order for them to want that time, you've got to be somebody they want to spend time with. Keep that in mind as you go through and you start your family meeting. If you got a question for me, questions@scottferrell.com or hit us up on the text line, 706-888-8255. 889-9700. Or if it's a question for me, ScotFerrell.com. Remember, that's 1T. All right, when I get back, I'm going to stay with the mailbag. Remember, if you got a question for me for the mailbag, it's questions@ScotFerrell.com. I'll be right back.
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get any 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Get any toppings, any crust flavor, anything you want for just $6.99 each. And sweeten the deal with a Hershey's Triple Chocolate Brownie for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Better days ahead.
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited. Now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT. Now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, America. The first ever $5 flavor menu is here, and it's a game changer. For just $5 each, you can get a medium one-topping pizza, Wing Street Wings, a Hershey's cookie, and your other Hut favorites. A Pizza Hut pizza for just $5? It's the ultimate crowd pleaser.
How are you feeling, crowd?
Very pleased, thank you.
We do what we can here.
$5 for a Pizza Hut pizza. How can we not be pleased?
Good crowd today.
The $5 flavor menu, America's best pizza deal, only at Pizza Hut.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for being part of my day. Hopefully you sitting there going, man, I'm glad he's part of mine. All right, if you got a question for me, I'm going back to the mailbag session now. If you're new to the program, remember I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not an attorney. Anything I say during the mailbag session is for funsies. However, I've been in the behavioral world for over 25 years, and I do coaching and consulting for private and business clients, but I am a coach only. All right, let's get to it. Questions at ScotFerrell.com is how you can touch with me, or hit us up on the phone. Text line 889-9700. All right, first question out of the gate. Household chores. All right, this husband and wife are having a little trouble deciding who does what around the house and when. They have asked that I give them a couple tips on what to do about how to solve this never-ending argument. All right, household chores. Let me go cooking first. Who gets home first? Let's say both working 9 to 5, got to make a living, right? Who got home first? Then handle dinner. Okay? On the weekends, who likes to cook and who doesn't? Okay, that one's easy. Just cook. And if you don't like to cook, there's so many chefs now that can come in and do the food for you for about the same price that you can buy groceries. So if you factor in your time, groceries, and cooking, it evens out sometimes. So if you live in a major metropolitan area or some small towns, you can get somebody to come in and do in-home chef services for you and have your meals ready, or you just pop them in the oven and heat them up. Cleaning. Who likes to do what? Now, apparently, this person's household's kind of chaotic because they cannot decide who's doing what. And I talk to a lot of couples to where one couple does everything and the other person does nothing. Okay, that's not going to work either. What do you like to do? I don't mind. Okay, look at me. I don't mind sweeping. I'll do the bathroom, mind vacuuming. I'll do laundry. I can do everything. Why? Because I started cleaning the house at 3. I really did. I was cleaning underneath the bed and all the stuff that went around the bed frame, take the mattresses off, cleaning at 3. I was quite the cleaner. It never stopped from there. If I wanted something clean, I'd do it myself. So how do you divvy them up? Well, you take every single chore that's got to get done on a weekly basis. Not, who's got the time, who enjoys this one or doesn't hate it worse than the other one, and you just do it. Couples argue about so many trivial things. It's unreal. And if we can take some of these stupid arguments we have over, you did this and you didn't do that and you did it. Time out. Is that solving anything? No, it's not. It's not solving anything. So we sit down, family meeting, couple meeting, we take a piece of paper or iPad or whatever it is and you email it to your spouse and you write out all the chores and then you assign them. Some people find it easier to go ahead and assign a day it's going to get done. But with cooking, who likes it? Who got home first? It's really not that hard. It's kind of like, where do you want to go to dinner? That can turn into nobody eating. Well, that's not where I want to go. My standard answer is, well, let's go to fast food. I didn't want to go there. I thought you said you didn't care. Well, I do care. Well, then where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? And this goes on for 30 minutes. You don't want to do that. So, again, write out a list of prospective places you've always wanted to eat. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, in a major metropolitan area like we live outside of Atlanta, you have to base things on traffic. Okay? These are a set of restaurants we can only eat at after 8 p.m. These are a set of restaurants we can eat at during the day. These are, because in Atlanta, you really got to plan where you're going to be traffic-wise. But if you want to figure out the chores, then write out a list and make a designation for that. If you were at work and there's a project coming up, what do? They've got a project manager and what? Then they assign tasks. And the tasks are based on who's got the expertise in the task. Why aren't we doing that at home again? It sure does stop all the infighting there, doesn't it? Now they can fight over something else. But the original assigning of task is handled. Thank you so much for your question. Let me get the next one. All right, this is an interesting question, but I've had this vocalized to me several times. And it's odd. Let me see if you've had this problem happen before. You get in touch with a friend. You haven't talked to them 2, 3 months, 6 months. You've initiated the contact. But they get mad at you and go, where you been? How come you haven't called? You don't ever call. Okay. See, this person's asking me the question of, what do I do when this happens? I'm getting tired of this. I reached out to a person I haven't talked to in a while, and they're mad at me for not reaching out sooner. And they asked me, what do you think? I said, well, the phone goes both ways. Okay? Alexander Graham Bell talked to Watson. I need you. Watson came. Okay? You can call people. I love the people I call and go, you never call me. You got my phone number too. You never email. You got my email. You don't ever text me. You've got my text number. Why would we're glad to hear from the person, so why are we chapping them about it? Oh, yeah, you never call me. That's like your folks. He never calls. Did you call him? Man, you got to give to receive. You have to give to receive. I don't understand why this is so tough. And let me clue you in on this one too if you're one of these people. If people call you that haven't talked to you in a while, and all you do is bust on them for not calling you, are they going to call you anymore? No. Is there any reason to call you if all you're going to do is complain about them not calling you? I don't get it. Yeah, I had dated people like that. You never call. Well, you could call me. And I even dated people that work different shifts and everything, and they get mad because I didn't call it the right shift. I'm like, if you'll give me a schedule to call, I'll be glad to. But I don't like to wake people up. Man, if you're working second, third shift, I'm not going to call and wake you up. But stop slapping the hand of people who call you. All right, you haven't talked to them in 2 months. If you wanted to talk to them earlier, you could have called them. Apparently, you didn't want to talk to them. You just wanted to complain about it. All right, good question. Let me move on. All right. Oh, wow. Let me handle this one because the military is near and dear to my heart. All right, my husband just got back from his tour. What are some of the things I can do to help him acclimate back to everyday life? Good question. I have a lot of veterans call me. I work with a lot of veterans. Give him his space. Because what's the best thing you can do for a veteran? Give him time to readjust to life. Don't sit and make demands on him. Give him a chance. You get back from a live war zone. We don't know what they went through. They're not going to tell us about it. Probably not going to talk about it. That's men and women. What's the best thing we can do is give them a little latitude. What do you do when somebody's lost a family member or a pet? You give them some latitude. What do we do when somebody's lost a job? They're upset, they're depressed. We give them latitude. Same thing here. Love on them, love them. Let them know you're there for them. Let them know that whatever they need, you can be there for them. But give them some adjustment time. It's no different than coming home from work. Do people want to get bombarded at the door when they come home from work? No, what do they need? They've been at work all day. They've been dealing with irritating people. Chances are, if you live around in our area, you've driven in traffic 1 to 3 hours. That's one way. And now you just need a little time. Let them get in the door. Let them get their stuff put down. If they got to change clothes, let them change clothes. And then you let them reintegrate back. Well, why can't we ask a war veteran to come home from 1 2-year tour of duty of being shot at every single day or being in a threat of being killed, and then expect them to reacclimate themselves right back into life overnight? You can't. Give them some latitude. Give them a little while. Apparently, this gentleman just got back. Thank you for your service. Just got back from being overseas. That's what you do. And then you lay out the groundwork. Hey, what are 3 things? What are 1 thing? Don't just fire questions. What's 1 thing I can do today to help your life get better? What's 1 thing I can do today to help you readjust? It's just no different than being in love. You look at your spouse and go, what's 1 way I can show you how much I love you every day? 1. You're not overwhelming them. See, a confused buyer won't purchase. So you put the questions down and you just go, 1 thing. 1 thing I can do for you. And when they tell you what it is, just do it. It's that simple. All right, coming up, I've got Frank McCain Jr. that's going to join me. Why? Well, I wanted to talk about what courage was, what it really means to be a hero, what it really means to be a civil rights hero, doing what it takes at the right time to make sure other people benefit. Frank McCain Sr. has passed on. He's in heaven now. But Frank McCain Jr. is going to come by. We happen to go to high school together. And I wanted to talk about legacy. What is it like to have one of the most famous civil rights leaders in the history of the U.S. as your dad? and the legacy of North Carolina A&T and the fact that Senior, Junior, and now Frank's son have all attended A&T, and the fact that the son's going to be on the same hall where Senior was. All of that and more when I get back.
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get any 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Get any toppings, any crust flavor, anything you want for just $6.99 each. And sweeten the deal with a Hershey's Triple Chocolate Brownie for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited. Now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT. Now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, America. The first ever $5 flavor menu is here, and it's a game changer. For just $5 each, you can get a medium one-topping pizza, Wing Street Wings, a Hershey's cookie, and your other Hut favorites. A Pizza Hut pizza for just $5? It's the ultimate crowd pleaser.
How are you feeling, crowd?
Very pleased, thank you.
We do what we can here.
$5 for a Pizza Hut pizza. How can we not be pleased?
Good crowd today.
The $5 flavor menu, America's best pizza deal, only at Pizza Hut.
Welcome back. Man, where does time go? How does it go by so fast? I look up, I'm looking at the clock, we're 30 minutes into this, and now we're almost done. Starting to wrap this up. Now, I want to thank Frank McCain again for stopping by, talking about his dad, the Greensboro 4. Do yourself a favor, look his father up, Frank McCain Sr., very brave man, and it's really cool. He went to A&T, got a bio degree and a chemistry degree, and ended up taking a job as a janitor because he was black and was not allowed to work in the lab. Yes, that's wrong. Of course it is. And I'm so glad that his father and the other 4 had an opportunity to show their courage and do what was right. Again, that was Blair, Richmond, McCain, and McNeil. Very brave guys. I also got to say Ralph Johns, the white businessman that helped us out. Again, from a commercial standpoint, all right, I got 4 guys that sat down, they're going to eat. And I got 300 more students that come over to protest. Hey, man, y'all want to buy some sandwiches? While you're here, hey, tell everybody at A&T to come over here and eat every day. Now, that is a civil rights museum now. Go by, look at the stools. I remember going in there when I was younger to still eat there. They had great food. Woolworth cafeterias were always good, or the cafes they had there. But I want to say thank you to Frank McCain Sr., even though he's passed on, Frank McCain Jr., my former classmate at North Mecklenburg High School, for stopping by and saying hello. So if you get a chance, go on by A&T and check the school out. Historic Black College, very cool campus. And Frank's son now is part of the football team. So if you're bored on a Saturday, you want to see a good football team, run on by there. All right, let me get back to the mailbag. 706-889-9700 is how you get in touch with us, or questions at scottferrell.com. All right, next question. All right, got to hold the identity of this one. This person wants to know, it's not the person they're talking about, but they're probably real close. Is it possible for a pastor or a priest to be depressed even though they have a belief in God? Of course. Are you human? Do you have the same biochemistry as every other human? Can other people get depressed? Yeah. Is it situational or biochemical? Well, biochemical, I can't help. You got to go to the doctor, but I can't handle situational. We as humans do experience depression, situational. Okay, you can look that up on the internet. Pastors, I speak to a lot of pastors. Pastors, think about it this way. If you go to a church, remember your pastor's human. They have the same emotions that you do. Just because they have been called by God to do a position doesn't mean they don't have the same emotions. For some reason, we think our pastors should work 24/7. So should their wives, so should their kids. They should be at the church every time the door opens. And every single thing that happens in church is everybody's fault. Pastor on down. Really? Is that really a system that's fairly set up for pastors? I don't think so. Do you blame it? I mean, look at how most churches treat their pastors. They want to keep them broke, keep them humble. Got to keep them broke, keep them humble. It's a bunch of crap. A pastor can't work 24/7, guys. What would we do if we didn't go to church? We do it on our own, right? So why do we have to include our pastor in everything? I'm not talking about the godly stuff. I'm not talking about prayer. I'm talking about life in general. And then why do we beat up on our pastors? Never understood this. You got a congregation of 200 to 500, traditional size of a church here in the South. You've got a man that's called to serve you, and he's serving you. Why don't you serve back? Yeah, this is going to be a topic on Friday because I got Dr. David Drake dropping by to talk about these issues. David is on the staff at Truett McConnell College up in North Georgia area. Very beautiful campus. If you get a chance, stop on by there. Dr. Cantor is the current president there. Super human being. Very interesting to talk to. If you ever get a chance to hear this man speak, go. You may have heard of his brother, Ergen Cantor, major apologist for the Southern Baptist Convention. Also a great speaker. But is it possible for a pastor to be depressed? Absolutely. What do you do about it? What do you do about pastoral depression? Sometimes you have to quit because the people making you depressed is your congregation. Because they don't see you as a human, they see you as a vessel for them. I don't want to carry this too far, but I'm trying to make a point here. If we've got a man called of God or a woman, and they're our pastor, why aren't we taking care of them? Isn't it easier to give than receive? We receive to them on Wednesday night and Sunday night. What are we giving to them to make their lives better and to keep this depression from happening? There's a retreat center that's going to be built at Truett McConnell for pastors who are depressed, who are burnt out, who have just had enough to go and stay. What's really sad is we need retreat centers for pastors to go and stay to get away from their flock because they're depressed and burnt out. I want to soak in for right now because I need people to reassess where they are and how they treat their pastors. Men and women of God need to be taken care of, not just take care of you. All right, next question. Nice. This is from Lisa, Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you so much, Lisa. How many times should I give someone a second chance? Reminds me of that Vince Gill song. Give me one more last chance before we say we're through. Because he's out making noise with all the boys drinking and hollering and howling at the moon. So how many times should we give someone a chance? I'm not going biblical on this one. I give people a second chance. People come back and say they're sorry. Of course, they don't get a third. Why shouldn't they? Well, Jesus said, hold on here, time out. You really going to give somebody multiple chances to screw you over? They did it first time. Chances are they're going to do it again. I'll give people a second chance if they're really sorry. And they come back and apologize. I mean, look how many times I screwed up. I screwed up a bunch. And people were sweet enough to give me a second chance and to accept my genuine apology. It ain't an apology unless it's genuine and you got something to back it up. So should you give them another chance? I don't know what they did. You didn't clarify in the question. Make sure it's not physical harm. If it's physical harm, no. Boyfriend slapping you around? No, done. But second chance. Give them a second chance. I didn't say third. Okay? First, you give them a chance, they betrayed you. Second chance, you give them a second chance, they're sorry. Third, that's on you, brah. Don't give them another opportunity to screw you over. Okay? They lied to you once, are they going to lie again? Yeah, all right. But thank you so much for that question. Okay, next question. I want to start my own company. I've got a great deal of expertise in this, but I feel like it's time for me to move on. Okay, cool. A lot of us have felt that way. All right, so you're asking for what are the next steps? What's important? Okay. Are you competent in the field you're going into? Or do you have enough money and enough smarts to hire somebody overly competent in the field you're going into? My friend Aaron Young owns a business law service. He's not an attorney. He just hires attorneys. Okay, so he bought into it. He bought the company. He's a serial CEO, one of the best I've ever met. Aaron Scott Young, if you want to look him up. He's the guy who teaches CEOs how to run their companies from a financial standpoint. So let me ask you this. If you're going to go out on your own, well, two things. Number one, are you the best at what you do? Are you replaceable? And does it fill a need? Okay, we got that established. So you want to go on your own. Do you have enough money to sustain you? A lot of businesses fail from lack of funding. Do you have enough money? You know, the old joke is you go into business for yourself. Get ready not to collect a paycheck anymore. Can you sustain yourself 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months without receiving a paycheck? If you can't, make sure you got the financing in place. Make sure the money's there to handle things. Now, this is another question you can put out on the internet, and you'll have 20 different business gurus answer differently. But my thing is, are you competent in what you do? Are you the best at what you do? And do you have the financing to go into it? Lack of financing can shut your doors even though you're an expert in what you do. But if you're an expert in what you do, then you have the marketing to back that up. Without marketing, you're dead. So do you have marketing practices that you can put in place right now to make sure people know who you are? Yeah, I know a lot of people started from scratch. Almost every big company started with someone who has a vision. Were they the best at what they did? And were they able to keep the doors open during the tough times? All right, thank you so much for your question. Oh, I love this one. This is a good one to close it out with. Give me strategies for getting my kid to do his homework. This is an easy one. Remember, answer 2 questions, and you'll have it. What's in it for them, and why should they? Other than you beating on them, grounding them, punishing them, stop. Okay, that'll work in the short term, always does. If there's a huge consequence, it will. But from an intrinsic standpoint, why should a child do their homework? Why should a kid go to practice? Why should a kid do X? Do I think schools give the wrong kind of homework sometimes? Yes. That's the wrong kind. My belief is homework is a necessity. It's still practice. There's a reason why we used to practice 5 days a week after school for 2 hours a day, and then we played 2 or 3 games a week. We had that to practice before we played. Homework is practice. Again, you set up the rules and the tone for your own home. If they see you do it, they'll do it. If they see you being the model, they'll do it. Do they understand why homework is such a vital part of learning, school, and life? Homework's just not about getting your assignment done. It's doing your homework for the rest of your life. If you own a company, if you've got a job, because so many times we have to do, look at me, look how much show prep I have to do just for one show. I'm on the air 2 hours a day, so I got 2 to 4 hours to prepare for the show. Okay? There's 4 to 6 hours every day just for 2 hours of show. Same thing in college. You may only go to school 15 hours for the semester, which could be 15 hours during the week, but you've got to fill up that other time with study, preparation, getting ready. You got to make sure all these things go into place. So if you want kids to understand their homework, let them understand how it relates to the rest of their lives. All right. As we close out today, I want to thank Frank McCain for dropping by Greensboro 4. If you want to look that up, go to Google or any search engine and check them out. If you need anything from me, parenting. Got the brand new parenting product up on my website, scotferrell.com. My goal was to write the parenting product so you never really had to second guess or guess what you were going to do. Kids really come with a manual. I made it. Now, as we close out, I want to let you know, let people know how much you love them. If you love someone and cherish them and adore them, that they know it. Honey, I told you I loved when we got married. Won't work. What's one thing you could do today to show the people around you how much they love them, and then go do it? Okay? Appreciation unexpressed is not appreciation at all. And on that note, I'll let you go. I'm Scott Ferrell. I hope you have a great day.